This video is sponsored by Notion, which is now completely free for personal use. Check it out at the link in the description down below. In 1997, history was made in the world of chess when IBM's Deep Blue supercomputer finally beat world champion chess player Garry Kasparov for the first time. This moment has often been cited as the death knell for the superiority of human intelligence and the rise of machines. But if you look at the highest levels of play in the world of chess now, they aren't dominated solely by computers. Instead, as is detailed in David Epstein's book Range, which I highly recommend by the way, there's a form of chess called advanced chess, or sometimes freestyle chess, where teams of humans and computers pool their collective resources to play at a higher level than the computers can achieve on their own. These teams are called Centaur Teams, and in a tournament that was described in the book, a team consisting of 2 people who were both not grandmasters and 3 normal chess computers beat Hydra, which at the time was the top chess-playing supercomputer. These Centaur teams are essentially the result of an admission that both our human minds and the computers that we use have their weaknesses, and that when you develop a symbiotic relationship where both bring their strengths to the table and play off each other, you get the best possible combination. On one hand, the computers are able to memorize and store millions of possible board states and analyze nearly every move that a player can make given one of those board states. But on the other hand, humans have a unique ability to think creatively, to think outside of the box, and to make unorthodox strategies using the tactics provided by these computers. And this combination, this realization that man and machine, or rather we and our tools, work best in tandem is key to learning how to think strategically, which itself is one part of being overall a productive and effective person. In the past, I've talked about the idea that you have a planning mode and a robot mode, where the robot mode executes on the plans laid by the planning mode. And if you want to be productive with your robot mode, you have to learn how to work faster, how to stay focused for longer, how to be more efficient with your moves. But just as important is the effectiveness of the planning mode. The plans you make, the strategies you set into motion need to be effective at moving you towards your goals. And I want to talk about one specific aspect of strategic thinking in this video, which is the act of looking ahead, of being a forward thinker. If you can anticipate what's going to happen in the future and either position yourself to take advantage of that or position yourself to sidestep as many of the consequences that, say, a negative event would bring, then you overall become more effective. And one specific technique that is often used in strategic planning in forward thinking is called the what-if analysis, and this is what I'm hoping you'll be able to use in your own life after you watch this video. Essentially, a what-if analysis is a mechanism for asking the question, what if? What if I did this? What if I did that? What if I took one certain specific type of action? What would happen? A what if analysis asks this question and then uses the available data to get the most accurate potential answer possible. Now, these what if analyses can be incredibly complex, going all the way up to the Monte Carlo simulations that are run at data science companies and at huge businesses, where they will run hundreds, thousands, even millions of different simulated scenarios to get an answer that is as close to the truth as they can. But they can also be a lot simpler and a lot more applicable to your own life. I want to give you a couple examples. So my favorite example here comes from back when I was in college. I had a roommate who was in computer engineering for 2 years. And after a couple years, it got to the point where he was realizing he really didn't want to be in that major. He wanted to switch, but he was scared to do it because he was afraid that switching majors would put him far behind where he was. He was kind of giving into that sunk cost fallacy, feeling like all this effort he'd already put in was going to be worthless if he switched his major. Well, as it turns out, our university has this tool called a degree audit report, where you can essentially see how far you are along in your chosen major, in your chosen degree, with all the classes you've taken so far. But our university had what was called a what if degree audit tool as well, where you could choose any major they offered and see where you would be if you were to switch to that major. And the funny thing is, when he ran a what if degree audit for the major he wanted to switch to, turns out he was actually further into that major than into his own major. So by switching, he put himself ahead a little bit, but he was only able to do that because he was able to use data to ask a question and get an accurate answer by running a what if analysis. For another example, let's ask some questions about your money, such as how much house could you afford right now? What price of house would you be able to buy right now? Or what could you do with your money if you got a raise? What would you do with your money if you lost your job or had to take a pay cut right now? These questions can bring a lot of anxiety, especially when you don't feel like you have the ability to get the answer. So what if you had a tool where you could input your income, input your expenses, and then see exactly how much money was left over at the end of the month after it goes through some calculations? Well, this is what I actually do every single month. I've built this kind of a tool for myself so I can input those numbers and then I can run these what if scenarios. What if I made more money? What if I maybe wanted to hire somebody else? Could I afford to hire that person, or would I be in the red at the end of the month when I looked at my leftover column? For housing, I've actually built myself a housing calculator where I can put in a purchase price and I can see what my estimated monthly cost of ownership would be. I can then compare that against my rent. I can put that into the expenses column and I can see, is there money left over at the end of the month given that purchase price? Or do I need to save up a bit more? Do I need to make more money? Asking these questions and then inputting numbers into this budget model or spreadsheet that I have built represents that combination between the strengths of our tools and the strengths of our own minds. I'm able to run this what if scenario and get a fairly accurate picture because the spreadsheet has the ability to be insanely detail oriented. It can hold all these numbers at once. It can perform all of these calculations. But I am able to make the strategic plans, to think big picture. And combining this tool and this tool, I'm able to make better decisions. So hopefully this overview has given you at least one tool for making more strategic decisions in your future. And with regards to the specific budget modeler, this seriously does help me make really, really good decisions with my money. It helps me sidestep potential problems I could get myself into in the future. So I'm gonna have a templated version linked in the description down below. You can make a copy of it. You can input your own numbers, make whatever changes you want to it, and hopefully you find it as helpful as I do. Of course, running a business requires a lot more than just simple budget planning, which is why I use a lot of other tools as well, ranging from analytics platforms to specialized research tools. But the place where I do the majority of my planning is Notion. For just one example, I have this database where I plan all the videos, podcasts, and other content that we produce. And this lets us know when things are going live, what stage they're at, and lots of other really useful information. And because it's built on Notion's really powerful templating system, every time I generate a new video project, it automatically gives me a place to write my script, which lets me easily add formatting and comments from my editor, along with automatic checklists for every stage of the video production process and a few other cool things. So if you're looking for a way to manage your work more effectively, you should give Notion a try too, especially if you're working on a team. And that's because Notion has powerful collaboration features that let you work on documents together in real time, share files, and even create wikis that keep everyone on the same page and let you document complex processes. In fact, that's one of my main use cases. I am methodically building this wiki for my company that documents processes and shows everyone how to do things step by step. But the best part is that Notion's personal plan is now completely free. No trial, no block limits. If you're using it on your own, it is now 100% free. And if you want to bring in a team, you can always upgrade to their team plan at any time. So click the link in the description down below and give Notion a try. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show the YouTube algorithm what's up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you may want to do so by clicking right there or smashing your face into your phone screen if you are watching this on your phone. Another good place to smash your face would be over here, where you're going to find a couple of other videos that you can check out if you still have some time to be watching videos and you're not on YouTube distracting yourself and procrastinating. But of course, if you want to do that, go ahead and do that, because as always, I'm not your dad.